Hi everyone. Today you're going to learn how to create two different types of bowls from your clay. Now, as we discussed in our last video, this isn't actually real clay. So please do not use the bowls and put water in them or try to eat or drink from them. Just putting that little disclaimer out there. We're just learning how to sculpt these, but do not use them. Anyway, we're going to make two different types of bowls using two different types of sculpting methods. The first method is called a pinch pot, and the second method is called a coil pot. So I will need two pictures today of both of the bowls that you make. Now to start, we're going to make a pinch pot. We're going to begin with our clay, and we're going to roll it into a ball. Now there's two different ways to do this. Some kids like to roll on the table. I don't like that because I feel like you're only touching half of the clay at a time. I much prefer rolling like this because I can feel the clay on both of my hands and I can adjust and move them around when I feel a bump in the clay or something isn't smooth. Look at that. Look at that perfect little snowball. All right, now to make a pinch pot, we're going to take our thumb and squeeze it into the middle, but don't go all the way through. Okay, you should see a little hole. And this is the pinching part. I'm going to take my thumb and my finger and squeeze. And this is going to open up our form. And we're going to end up with that little bowl shape. And we're also going to create some walls to our bowl. And notice how I'm working in a circle. I'm kind of rotating it around. And I'm feeling with my fingers, how thick is everything? Is it even? Is it actually making the kind of curve that I want? See, mine's turning kind of into a plate. So I need to maybe place it on the table and start bringing my walls up the way that a bowl or a cup would. Now, it's model magic, so it's going to get a little floppy here and there. But do your best and try to make it as even as you can. Go around the rim, make it nice and even, pat it down. And I'm just going to show you. See? Looking at it from different angles, maybe that thing looked great from the top, but from the side, I can tell that I might need to adjust a couple things. All right. Once you're happy with your pinch pot, take a photo, and then we move on to the next one. All right. So pinch pot, took a picture, squash, 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 squash. The next type of bowl we're making, we're going to use the coil method. And I'll show you what a coil is in just a moment. But first, let's roll it back into a ball. And we're going to measure out a little piece of the clay. I need you to pinch off about a grape-sized amount. So we have a little grape-sized ball here. And we're going to roll that. And we're going to make the foot. Not like your actual foot, but the foot of a bowl, which is basically the flat part that touches the table. It's what the entire thing rests on. So to do that, we're going to roll this into a nice even ball because we want a nice round shape. So I'm going to take my fingers and press down and work them around. And I want a nice even looking pancake. Don't make it too thin because, again, we're going to be building on this. So we want it to be about that thick and about that big. I'm going to place this down. Don't squash it. Let it rest lightly on the table because you want to be able to pick it back up again. So just be gentle. I'm going to move this aside, actually, because now I have to make a coil from the rest. A coil is basically a long clay snake. So I'm going to take this and start rolling it. Now, as I roll, I'm not squashing it. Notice you can't see my finger marks in the clay. See how smooth it is? That's because I'm not doing this. You don't want to do that. Okay, you see all those little bumps? That means you're pressing too hard. Instead, you want a gentle touch with a little bit of pressure because your goal is to stretch it. And notice I'm in and out, rolling in the center and moving my fingers out. I'm not pressing hard, just evenly. And I'm looking at the clay. See that spot? Oh my gosh, it's getting really, really thin. So maybe I'm not going to roll that part as much anymore. But the better you get, the longer your coils are going to be. You can also split them. It's okay. And as I'm rolling, I'm also kind of pulling on the clay because I want it to stretch. And the longer your coil is, the bigger your coil bowl will be. Now, normal clay wouldn't really split up like this, but the Model Magic probably will because it's a lot softer. But once you make a coil that you're happy with, put it to the side. We don't want super thin coils either. It shouldn't look like spaghetti. Probably about the width of your pencil is probably a good size. Okay, I got all these great coils here. I got another one here. Oop, they got stuck. Oh no, they're very stuck. There we go. I fix that. I got a coil over here, and a coil over here. So, got these all laid out. I'm going to start with my foot of my bowl, and I'm going to pick up my first coil. And I'm going to take it and place it around the rim. And then notice how I'm pressing down with my finger, and I made a little ring with my coil. See? And I'm starting to build the wall of my bowl. I'm going to keep doing that with the rest of my coils, but I'm going to put it on top of the previous one. So I'm stacking them up. They're going to keep wrapping around like a snake. And keep building, take my time. Ip, ip, ip. Now, as you're building, you got to be careful because I can see already like it's starting to lean a little bit. So you kind of have to stack and pay attention to the entire thing. All right, before I add more, I'm kind of going to adjust here, make it a little bit more round, make sure it's not falling over, look at it from different angles here. Yeah, I like that. Maybe this one I'm going to put on the outside edge to make kind of like a vessel like that. And see when I do that how it changes the shape a little bit, how this rim comes out a little bit more. And now with the coil pot, you can leave it like this with this kind of cool sneaky texture, or you can pinch it and that squishes all the coils together and makes them a little bit smoother. Now, some people like the coil method a lot more because you have a lot more control over the shape. With the pinch method, you can't really make things go out wider or thinner. So a lot of people like using coil instead. You see that? Looks like a little flower pot. So do me a favor, take a photo of this one as well, and then you are done. Then wrap up your clay, store it, put it in your Ziploc bag, and keep it nice and soft for our next project.